Okay, hello and welcome to another Boss Constructor Progress Report, this time for June and July 2015. I'm actually recording this video because the audio didn't pick up last time, but it's okay because the video didn't get saved either, so yeah, excellent. Excellent start. Okay, so let's get right into it. What has changed? So first of all, let's begin with the changes to the exploration mode. And the first change is a new shop and research system. So let me show you how it works. Basically, you have 8 different tech branches, which each have a tech level. So you begin with a tech level of 1, which in each branch, which will allow you to purchase and upgrade module like tier 1 level modules of this type. For example, for the propulsion system branch, it would be the missile launcher, which you can purchase and which you can upgrade. You can increase your tech level by going to sectors of a certain type. For example, this would be the icon of the faction for this specific research branch. And if you complete missions in that sector, the tech level will increase. It will increase especially much if there is a tech lab in the sector which you have completed a mission in. Yeah, and that's pretty much how it works. So usually you will have only, some branches which you can upgrade in a certain playthrough, but you can also plan your route through the galaxy based on the type of modules which you want to have and the research which you want to have done in effect. Next change is that there's now a storefront for the modular gambler, so you no longer have to spend like an hour to exchange all your ore. Instead, you now have different options. So for example, you can offer 4 ore for a random module, or you can offer more to get a module of a better quality. So for example, you can offer 40 ore for a legendary module. It's random, of course, so maybe you will end up with a very good nameplate, for example, but you may also be very lucky. Next, you can now destroy shops, which is nice. Doing so has negative consequences, of course. For example, the tech level of that shop will decrease, and the tendency will worsen, which I will explain in a second. But there's also an upside. You will get a lot of modules. To be precise, you will get a subset of the modules which are currently on sale in that store. So you get an immediate reward, but you also get negative consequences. Shops may become hostile to you, may fire missiles at you, and yeah, tendency. Okay, next there's now a little difficulty indicator, which is based on the mission and based on the value of your ship. So this is sort of like a little hint for newer players, but also for experienced players who, it's not always entirely obvious which sector is hard or which sector is not. It's just an indication, of course, but I think in general it should provide like a good orientation. Next, and this is probably the biggest change, I've added a tendency system to the game. If you have played Demon's Souls, you will pretty much recognize have a guess at what tendency means. And if you haven't, I'll just give you a brief overview. Basically, many things which you do now have an effect on galaxy tendency. For example, if you destroy a shop like I just described, the tendency will become worse. Or if you destroy an allied ship, for example, it will become worse. On the other hand, if you do good things, like for example, collecting rescue capsules and stuff, it will become better. Now, what is the effect of this? Well, there are actually many different effects which tendency has, and I'm not going to spoil them right now. I think it's sort of exciting to figure out yourself what they do. But let me just give you an example. If the galaxy tendency becomes really, really bad, for example, you will get a lot of kill all boss waves type missions. So the game will become much harder, but also possibly offer better rewards. So it's sort of a risk-reward thing for you to figure out. And yeah, I mean, to be precise, this is not exactly balanced like at all, but I think it's a very... I mean, I feel like it was the last mechanic which was really missing for the exploration mode, because before there were no real negative consequences to, just destroying your allied ships and doing all sort of stuff. Okay, speaking of balancing, well, it has been improved. I've spent some time playing in the game and rebalancing certain missions and making especially the start of the game much more easier and more accessible. Okay, there have also been some general changes and updates. First of all, there is now a speed up button, so you can increase the game speed to, I think it's times 2 and times 5, I think, which is very useful. For example, if a sector is almost done and you just want to pick up stuff, you can just accelerate the game. Or you can also use it as an additional challenge, if that is what you're after. I've also did many UI changes, UI cleanup in general, and I've also changed the hangar. For example, you can now sort by type, so you have all chips, custom chips, pre-made chips, AI chips, and evolution chips. And you can, for example, now have a look at the enemy AI chips, which have been generated by the evolution algorithm, which was not possible before. Then there are some minor things. The camera has been improved. There is one new mission music track, several bug and crash fixes. And especially I think that the out of memory bug might now be fixed. I do not have any up-to-date data because it was just fixed a few hours ago, but I'm pretty confident that this main source of crashes has now been fixed, which is nice. So the last point I'm going to talk about today is this roadmap which I've been working on. And so basically I had this in mind like for some time, but this is like the first time I'm really writing it down and just giving you an impression of where the game's at and which stuff I'm still intending to add to the game. So I think the alpha phase is the phase where the core game mechanic and the core game features are implemented and made to work. And I think in the case of Boss Constructor, which has a lot of mechanics, a lot of things like physics and the ship editor and game modes and stuff, this is sort of the main work part. And fortunately this is almost done. The only mechanic which is still missing is the stuff for the story mode, which is what I'm going to work on next. But as you can see, the alpha phase is pretty complete already, and I sort of intend to finish it in the upcoming weeks actually. I do have some ideas for how to do the story mode, but it's not implemented yet. So going to implement the base story mode mechanic. The beta phase will be basically providing additional content and polishing the stuff which is in the game. This is mainly content for the story mode. It means improving the accessibility of the AI modes, making the mission mode more interesting. I need to improve the sound effects. So currently many weapons, for example, have the identical sound effect, which is not so good. I need to improve the balancing, obviously, add some more modules, improve the performance, and do some bug fixes. So fortunately, we are actually pretty up to date on bug fixes, so this part should be pretty easy, but the other stuff is probably going to take some time. Yeah, and finally, if that is done, I will release the game, And after release, I intend to add some more content, for example, some new module types based on the module voting and the player suggestions. I'm going to do the bonus pack, which I promised for early access buyers. I will probably do some sort of leaderboard for the missions, for the mission mode, and add some more missions as well. There are some other things which I might add, but where I'm not so sure if how hard it is and how much effort it will take. So this is just the stuff which I can guarantee and which I'm committed to complete, to include in the game. All right. So if you like, as usual, leave comments and stuff in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching and playing, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.